Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is Saturday, November 15th, 2025. It is my 196th Flosstube. Welcome. Welcome if you're new. I know a few people have told me that they just found my channel, so I'm very thankful that you did. And to my returning viewers, thank you. Thank you for your kind comments and thank you for all the suggestions for sciatica. But I have to say, it didn't work. I still have it. It's not quite as severe as it was when we were last together. Last together, we were at Halloween, and I had wanted to go with my grandchildren trick-or-treating. They were getting together to do that, and I just couldn't walk. But Sal was nice enough to drive me over to the house as they got together. This is my fourth time starting this video, and because I started telling you a little bit about what was going on, and I just thought I was giving you way too much information that you didn't want to hear. So, okay, I'm trying to do two things at once. Okay, so Sal drove me over, and Amy was able to snap a picture of the four of them together. It's usually hard to get all four grandchildren together. So, but she did. And this is them. This is Caleb, then Layla, and then Gianna and Talia. So that was them trick-or-treating. So we went by to check them out and give them some Halloween cards and things. And then once they started trick-or-treating, Sal and I came home. So I guess as far as my sciatica goes, I'll just skip ahead because I was getting and then I went here and then I went there and I'm like, these people don't want to hear this. So anyway, I found a doctor. I had x-rays. They didn't show enough. So I went to another doctor and he ordered MRI of my spine to see what else was going on. So I have bulging discs and I have some stenosis. So they explained it to me. Do I remember the details? Not too much, but I think one of them is where the nerve comes through. It's constricting. And then between the discs, it's wearing out. And some of it's due to age. And I also have scoliosis, a bit in my bottom back. I think they said a little bit at the top, but I've had that for years, the doctor said. It's not something that just happened. It's been going on. But I guess I've always had back issues, but I guess it was never this severe. So that's why I pursued going to see more and more people about this. So yesterday was my first appointment for physical therapy, and it was just an eval type of thing. They gave me 3 exercises to do until I go back. But there are so many people out there doing physical therapy, it's hard to get appointments. The doctor wanted me to go twice a week. I think one week they only fit me in once. So I have to just, do some of the exercises at home that I learned from there. And hopefully when I go back to the doctor who ordered the MRI, which is this coming Wednesday, he'll have some kind of treatment to follow. Okay. So what else? I've been babysitting still. And, election day, schools were closed. Were schools closed? Yeah. Schools were closed. I had Caleb and Layla, and then Gianna was off because Gianna goes to a nursery school that's attached to Caleb's school in the district. So James had taken off to be with her. So I invited them over. So we had company for the kids to play, which was kind of nice. And then I'm just looking at the calendar, see if there's any really major. And then teacher convention in New Jersey. I think it's the first Thursday and Friday. is a teacher conventions for all of New Jersey. Not all schools participate, but they usually close school for 2 days, and they have a big convention in Atlantic City. And when I was a secretary at the school, we were allowed to attend. We'd fill out a paper that, and get permission to attend in the district, and then we would drive down usually Wednesday afternoon so that we were there early in the morning on Thursday because it got really crowded. And it was so much fun. My friend Terry and I don't know, I had a blast. I think she enjoyed herself as well. And she moved away, and I miss her, but I had so much fun. I think we both had fun. We played the slots at night. We went to the convention, and at the convention they give you samples. And I used to collect. I mean, if they were willing to give it, I was willing to take it. But our bags were full. We went back to the car, and then we would go back, and I would get samples of books for children. At that time, Rebecca was a kindergarten teacher, but her school wasn't closed for teacher convention. So I would give her the books that I collected for her school or her classroom. And we got pens. Everybody gave you pens and pencils. And I'm still using those pens today. And I've retired since 2016. So how did I get on this topic? Oh, the school was closed. So Caleb and Layla were both here again that Thursday. And then this past week was just Layla, Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, so that was my life in a nutshell. I mean, there was a lot more going on, a lot more different doctors and chiropractors and trying different things, but I think I told you enough. I'm sure we want to get on to what you're really here for, and I do have some things to share with you. I know I showed you the finished of this, but I don't know if I showed you the fully finished of it. And that was Polar Pear Plunge by Hands On Design. I finished it. I'm going to call this as a door hanger. This was the first one that I did, the whale. And I backed them a little bit differently. And those are the two that I did from that series. I know there's a walrus. I don't know, I forget the other animals. This was a prior finish that I showed you, but I don't remember who told me this. If it was my friend Helen, but I ran with it. I asked Amy, my daughter-in-law's sister, Rachel. I showed her what I wanted, and I said, "Do you think you can do this?" And she said yes. So I gave her the tins, and I signed a piece of paper, and she took my handwriting and made a sticker for the back of these ornaments. Now, I asked two that said Aunt Lori, and the other one that says Grandma. And these are the ornaments from It's So Emma. I don't remember the actual, I'll put it in the show notes, the name of the pattern that I bought from Fat Quarter Shop, and I bought the tins there. And I showed you this finish before, but I just thought I'd share that if you have a cricket, Rachel made these stickers on a cricket, and even like looking at them, I can't see how she did it. I don't know if they were individually, one big sticker. I feel like I could feel it a little bit raised, but I don't know. Rachel, you did an awesome job. I'm happy. I'm thrilled with them. So these will be for their Christmas tree this year. And those are the only finishes. Today we're supposed to have a finishing day on a Zoom. I'll see how long I can last, whether I'm sitting or standing. Sometimes I have to move. Okay, so I showed you, I'm not going to show you the quilt, but I showed you, if you remember, I don't know if you, well, two videos ago, I made a quilt, and it had Charlie Brown with some other characters, Lucy and Snoopy and pig pen and yada yada. And then I did the black and white to represent the balls. And I showed a gray fabric for the backing that was circles. And I said, well, I didn't know if I liked it so much. If I couldn't find something else, I would use it. And I threw it out there and I said, oh, my friend Pat might be able to help me. And sure enough, she sent me an email, told me who had it and was Hobby Lobby. And a viewer had also mentioned it to me. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and this was before sciatica. And I forgot to show this to you in my last video. And I bought soccer balls for the back. And I'm so happy that they told me about it and I found it. So thank you both. Okay, what else? I think that's it as far as what I have to show right now. Let's see, I'll do the giveaway. I had a giveaway in my last video, and that was for Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street. And I just pulled the name. I made sure I got everybody's comment up to today. I just got off my phone. And the winner is Kathy Slow Stitch H2282. So Kathy, if you can either message me on Instagram or send me an email with your address that you're over 18 and that I can get your address and mail this to you. My last video, Sue won the giveaway. And Sue, I want you to know that I was able to get to the post office. I won't tell you the condition I was in when I walked out of the post office, but it's in the mail, and hopefully it won't take too long to reach you. Okay, so Kathy, if you can send me your address, that would be great. Okay, what have I been stitching? I think that's where we're at right now. So for WIPGO, the calls for November were Coffee Quaker and Cornwall Cottage, and they're both colored in. I guess this was white out that you're seeing there. They're both colored in because I got them done at the beginning of the month this time. Usually it takes me to the end of the month to finish WIPGO. So for December, it will be American Welcome, number 1, and number 25, which is Oh Holy Night. Very appropriate for December. And then the 13th is a WIP of choice. So anything I work on, I can call it that. And then I will be finished with WIPGO for the year. We've been talking in our planning group of how we might do WIPGO next year besides just putting a project in there. So we were thinking of things like my oldest WIP, my favorite WIP, your favorite designer, a WIP in the season, things like that. We have to come up with 25 of them. So we're thinking of that and how we might put some WIPs in that I know that I'll never finish next year anyway. And then for the Magazine Monthly Challenge, the word was steel. I didn't post anything yet. It's such a short word. I thought I would stitch them all and then at the end just post them, the whole thing together. I am working on a planning video. I've been writing and writing because with the meds, sometimes I can't stitch. I haven't stitched as much as I really wanted to this time, but I'm going to share everything that I did. But I was able to, write and come in here a little bit and move things around and what I'm going to stitch on for next year. Like I want to do 26 new starts, and I forgot how many. I don't know if I have 40 already listed. I think next year is going to be a year, starts. Like I'll start them. But I think the following year is going to be, I can't start it, well, except for ornaments because they're gifts. I can't start anything new or big until I haven't figured it out yet. If I'm going to say like two BAPs, I can start another one, or 3 BAPs and I can start another one. And then maybe 4 mediums and then I can start one. at this point I will have a lot of WIPs, and a lot of them are large, so I don't know how, you know, I can't keep them in rotation if I keep putting more things in. So I think this year coming up, I'm going to start what I want to start. I'm not going to stop buying, because eventually I'll start again. But I will not start anything new until I finish so many of a certain size. Okay, so what have I been stitching? Let's get into it. The first one is Elizabeth by Mirabilia. This is what she's going to look like when I finally finish her. This is stitched on a 28 count sterling silver Lugana with DMC threads 2/2. Somebody asked me about that, like, do I stitch with 1 thread, 2 threads? 99% of the time I stitched with 2 threads on almost all my projects. I have one project that I'll share that I'm using 1 thread, because it was more of a trial for me, because even on 18 count Ada, I would do 2 threads. And sometimes I would struggle because it was so thick. So what did I do on Elizabeth? You're not going to tell too much, but I brought this down. Okay, I'm looking at it opposite. And in here I brought up, this I brought down, and this. So it doesn't look like much, but, you know, considering the pain meds I was on and the stitching I can get accomplished, I think I did okay. Would I have liked to have gotten more in? Absolutely. So this is what she looks like. Let's see if I can get the... I don't iron these until I'm done, because I don't want to keep ironing fabric and closing holes and maybe making it warped or something. So I have a lot of dress left. A lot. And I chose this one because it didn't have many beads and didn't have too much skin, and I thought I can do it. Okay. So now, when I do my WIP parade, I will put it in the WIP parade. I will put it in the order of oldest to newest. And that won't happen until probably December, so that I can, because there's a new start that we're going to have on December 1st. So this way I will include it in my WIP parade. I don't know where I was going with that, but... Oh, I was going to tell you when I started it. And then I'll also show you how I track my stitching in general. Okay, I started this for something, and I can't remember what. If it was for ABC Cinco, I think it was ABC Cinco. Plus, I'm doing a patriotic ornament a month, so I finished it this month, November, so I'm counting this as my November patriotic. So November, so December and up until June, so 7 more ornaments of patriotic pieces that I'm going to try and finish. The idea is to fully finish them as well. Nancy, the disorderly stitcher, and Nancy with the smiling face stitcher, they're hosting the, they mentioned it in June that they were doing an ornament a month to have 13 ornaments by the time, oh goodness, the quincentennial, I think it's called, in July. So I worked on this, and this is on a 14 count toast Ada, and I used my own colors. They did give me colors, but I chose my own because I like them brighter. And instead of using 2 blues in the pattern, they use a lighter blue and a darker blue. I went for brightness. I love this. So I used DMC 824 for the blue, Weeks Dye Works Liberty for the red, and then B5200 for the white. Now, the way they did it was a little bit more prim. They used Ecru. Yep, they used Ecru for the white. This is me. That might be you. So now I have to finish it before July, but hopefully January. I'm not going to say December because you know how crazy December is. This one. This is a pattern that my friend Anime sent me. And this is called Gathering. I'm just looking for the picture of it. Gather Pinecones. And I stitched this on the 1st of November because our planning group was saying that we would stitch a tree. And I did not want to start any new things. So they said, well, if it has a tree on it. So I was working on this one and I had to put in one more tree before I could finish the rest of it. And so I called that my inclusion in with Dina, the Sit, Stay, Stitch on YouTube, my friend Dee, and my friend Donna. So, okay, where are you? Here it is. This is the front. So this is the first of the 3 in Gather Pinecones. That's the house. And this is done on a, I want to say it's 14 count, but I'm not really sure. It might be, I don't know if I was able to find 16. I think I might have looked for 16 count toast because there's no name on this. This Weigart base. Let's see, what I have anything written here? Oh, Dirty Ada, it says. So that the white would pop. And there's my little finish. So, but I will consider this like I'll put it in the book as a finish of a project, but I'm still going to do these. And since I'm finishing them separately, I will call them each a new start. Now, if you're doing a series and you want to count it all as one, that's fine. It's your rules. Okay, what did I do next? Oh, I had a new start. Last year when I did my planning video, I went over all the projects that I wanted to start. And I don't have the figures right in front of me, but let's just say I wanted to start 60 projects. 8 of them, I said, that's it for this year. So I'm carrying them over. So with that being said, I need something white behind this. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh. I should have been better prepared and I apologize. Okay, so anyway, I started this pattern. It's White Christmas 2022 by Primrose, and I had already stitched this one, so I started this one. I'll just hold it like this. And this is the snowman. And the snowman is going to be flanked by the blue, so the white will show up. And then the snowflakes will show up because it also will be in all that blue. So I'm excited that I started that. Here's the one I did last year. So cute. She has blue eyes. There you go. So these can be ornaments for next year. Okay. I only worked on that one day. Some days were 2 days, some days were 1 day, some days were, well, I called it 2 days, but because the head was not in the right spot, I didn't get much accomplished. Okay, where's the photo? The next one I picked up. Now this one I started last month, and I said I would like to finish this, fully finish it by October of 2026 so I can put it out because I love this. So I made a photocopy of the front page. Did I make a photocopy of the front page? No, the pattern, I think, so I can't show it. And I divided it up into sections. Like, you know, let's say this was month 1, month 2. And so far I've hit both goals on this. And this is stitched on a 14 count vintage by Artiste from Hobby Lobby. And I put fabric to put it on the Q-snap, but I put it on backwards. So it would have looked real cute if it was in the front because it matches so well, the black. So this time I picked it up. I finished the curly Q on the C, and then I went on to the O, B, and started the E. I brought down the curly Q and the leaf. So hopefully the next time I pick it up, I'll finish the E and the R. And then this goes up, and there's a bird and a leaf. And that would be my next section for the month. This was the next section. So I'm looking forward to doing that because I really like these. And the fact that it's not on black fabric, I love it even more. I tried stitching something that the Housewives put on black fabric on another fabric, and it's okay, but I wasn't as thrilled as I was on what they did with it. So I'm hesitant to stitch on black, and I'm hesitant to change anything. Okay, then I picked up, and this is in no particular order, but Christmas Barn by PrimroseCottage. This looks like this, a snap. I can get that done. There's a lot of stitching in there. And the last time you saw it, I stitched these 3 boughs and the 3 snowflake. And I believe I did 1 tree and like part of the barn. So this is being stitched on a 14 count Country Mocha Ada. So what I did was I added this tree because this has the snow. This one doesn't have the snow. So I finished the barn. I added this tree. I have to do the 3 swags here and the snowflakes in here and a snowman here and the snow on the ground. So what I thought would have been something I can finish before this Christmas turned out to be, next Christmas, this will be really a nice pillow. And let's see, it all calls for DMC except for Weeks Turkish Red that they called for the barn. And I just want to make sure and I did have Turkish Red. I don't know if I ordered it or I had it. So that's what I'm using for the barn. And everything else is DMC, which I can show you because there's no pattern there. Whenever you see a piece of fabric attached to it, it's just so that it can go into the Q. Like I don't want to use a small Q-snap because it's limited in space. I like using the 11 by 11 Q-snap. And sometimes it's too tight, so I put a piece of fabric. Okay. Haven't picked this up in a while, I think. And where's the picture? This is Heartstrings Samplery, Coffee Quaker. And I'm stitching this on a 28 count Jubilee Ivory, or Ivory Jubilee. And I stitched. Then I do, so that I had something to go off of to start this motif without too much counting, so that I wouldn't be off. And I started this, which is like a berry bowl, I guess. This one here. So this, and that. And this is where it's at right now. It's coming along. I anticipated it being smaller. I did count to make sure that I had enough room, because I want to make sure that the pattern fits on this fabric, and I did count it down to the bottom, and it fits. In the planning video last year, I put in 25 projects that I wanted to finish in 2024. I put down 25 projects that I wanted to finish in 2025. And I was able to meet all 25 of those goals. But moving forward, I don't think there's 25. I don't even think there's 15 that I can finish. The next one I picked up was Cornwall Cottage by Rosewood Manor. And I'm working on the outside floral motifs and then this inner border before I tackle the inside. This is stitched on, I think it might have been a 16 count Aida, but then I washed it before I started, and it looks like it might have shrunk a little bit. I'm trying to figure out which is the top, but I'm not absolutely sure. So what I stitched this time, I finished the other half of this motif. I brought these leaves down and I did this motif, which is here, this is the half, and I didn't start. So I finished this motif, this piece, brought the border down. So what I thought I would do is I might go back and bring this border across, bring this down, and hope it meets. So this is where she's at. This is white Aida. I'm gonna say maybe 16 count. And this week I worked on this side. I just love the colors how they pop on the white. It's gonna be a big girl. So I know a few people mentioned they missed seeing this one, and also Songs of the Season by Bygone Stitches, which I enjoy as well. I enjoy working on this, but sometimes when I think about pulling it out, I say, oh, it's such a big project. But if I don't pull it out, it's not going to get done. That being said, my 25th finish of that list was Mirabilia, Christmas Elf Fairy. Now, I did not include these, I don't know what they call, but outlining stitches. I didn't like the way they were looking in the wings, so I just took them out there, and I just did the beading, and I'm happy to say I finished this. This is on a 14 count Toast Aida. And I finished all the beading. The bees are in the tree, the outline of all the wings, her necklace. So I'm hoping I can find a frame in my collection that I can put it in for this Christmas. Okay. I ordered something from Lindy Stitches that I thought I'd share with you. They sent a thank you card and the people on their staff pictures. They told me about the Jingle Ball. I will not be attending Jingle Ball, but it sounds like so much fun, so much fun. So if you have an opportunity, I believe I heard it was $15 to partake. Okay. I ordered, where's that pattern? This is one of my starts for next year, and I needed floss, so I'll just show it to you real quick. It is Winter Quaker by PrimroseCottage, and it called for 2 skeins of Battleship by Coloring Cotton. So that's what I ordered, 2 skeins, beautiful variegation. So being that it was just one color and 2 skeins, I decided to do it in the call for. I know a lot of times I switch it up for the DMC. Lindy, or one of her workers, included a little candy, one of my favorites. Saved. I ordered a piece of fabric from Be Stitch Me. I've never ordered from them, and my friends have ordered from them or have a subscription, so I wanted to see how I like stitching on it before I do anything further. This is a 16 count Ada. Lunar, it's called. Lunar. And it's a beautiful variegated gray. Showing up a little bit darker on screen. Maybe that side is darker. And then I ordered Autumn Moon by Plum Street Samplers. This just came out. Paulette just released it, and I absolutely love it. And again, this is going to be a big piece. Let's see, what's the stitch count? 150 by 169. I mean, it's not the largest one that I have, but it's going to be a big piece. There's a lot of continuous stitching in that, or full coverage. It has a long list of threads that I will be collecting. This might be another like thread purchase of another $100. It looks like if I do with all the called for, because this is done on a 36 count. So I could do it on an 18 count. Anyway, I think that's it. I'll just go back in here, and I can put the floss in here now. Okay, for those of you that do not want to see the ornament mystery box that Chantel's 141 Design Company put out, then we can say goodbye right now. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm giving you the heads up that I'm going to be sharing it. Some people have shared it already, but I kept it to the end so that if you have it and or if you ordered it and you haven't received it yet and you don't want to see it, I'm not spoiling it for you. Okay, comes packaged very nicely with these beautiful stickers, and I think these are stickers. It's hard to tell because you don't see a seam of how to take the back paper off. So I might, depending how I finish the piece, I might put this in the back, or I might just put it in my calendar when I finished it and put the date inside and maybe which project it was. So I love that. Always love stickers. Never find good ones, but I have some now. Okay, so the patterns that came. Oh, I should do it with the pieces that it goes with. I was very excited to do this year. It was my first year. And excuse the noise. I'll just move it aside. Again, beautifully packed. I am saving this envelope. I save these things. I save a lot of things. Anyway, So the first pattern that, actually we're starting this December 1st. We decided to start one of the 5, and we all like this one, so we're all starting this one December 1st. And this is called Giver by Teresa Kogut. And the piece that goes with it is this one here. Of course, these are not finished. I guess, you somehow glue it in there and paint it, and it's in there. Now, the 2 of these are very heavy. So I don't know if I might pop one of these in, put a backing on it to hold it in place. I haven't figured it out yet, and just use one and then use this for another round ornament, because I think the 2 of them on my tree would be very heavy to hold. But first I have to stitch it before I can. If the stitch count is 59 by 59 and it's stitched on a 36 count. So I have to find an 18 count. Yeah, 18 to 36, so that it fits in properly. So that's the first one. The second one is Plum Street Samplers, and it's called Winter Stroll. And that's a goose walking with Santa. And this was stitched on a 36 count as well. And the stitch count is 72 by 90 high. So I have to do them on 18 so that they fit on each of the finishing pieces. And this is the finishing piece for this. It's hard to see the finishing piece because it's sitting on something round. But if you look real close, it's like right there. So it looks like it's going to be a really close finish on this. I guess those that can stitch on 40 or 20 might have a little bit more leeway in the room around it. Okay, then the next one is by Annie Bees, and it's called Feathers and Frost. And that's the pattern. This is on a stitch count of 55 by 89. 36 count, and let me see if I could figure out what. Okay, this is that. So I think it's this one. Of course, they're all unfinished because you can finish them in any way, and you can see this one was painted black, and the rickrack around it. So that will go on here. The next one is Hands-On Design Poinsettia Pageant. And this is stitched on, yay, Kathy, 32 count charcoal Swigart Belfast 2/2. So it's 53 by 53. Oh, it's off camera. And I can stitch this on a 16 count. So, and this one is this petal. Kathy painted hers red, and then she used a stencil to get this border around. Then the final one is a Robin Pickens. I love Robin Pickens patterns. This is called Wreath Birds. And I'm going to do both birds, even though I only have one paddle. But I have a round other piece that I can finish it. This is the paddle that one of the birds will go on. And if you look, it's not only painted, it's like hand painted with details. So that ought to be interesting. Stay tuned. If I do something like that, I will most definitely share. So that's the Ornament Mystery Box for 2025. I'm very happy with it. The plan is that I will stitch them all this year. Next year. Okay. All right, that's it. For this one, I will, let's see. So next time we're together, I will have lived, hopefully, through physical therapy. Layla's birthday is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. And we have a Zoom planned on the 30th of the month. We have a planning meeting. Oh, gee. I want to see if I can do a planning video. Going to be hard, but I'd like to do the planning video in November. So whenever I get an opportunity, once everything I have all lined up, I have all the dates and information for you, I will just get on, video it, and upload it. And then what I normally stitch on, I'll share most likely the 30th of November. I'm trying to do 2 a month till January. December, I'll try to do 2, one in the middle of the month and one maybe New Year's Eve. I don't know. And then in January starts Bringo with the magazine monthly challenge. I hope if you've never tried it, you give it a shot. You have an option of, Bringo is usually prompts. I don't know how they're doing it this year. I don't know if they're going to make a bigger board. They used to do 25 and count all 25. I don't know if they're going to do 35 and still just pull 25. It didn't come out yet, but in the past it was prompts like stitch on your smallest whip, stitch on a whip whose designer you love, all different things. And we usually get it, I thought we got it in November last year, so you had time to plan. And then you attach a project to each of the prompts. And then when she calls that letter or number, let's see, Bringo is numbers. ABC Cinco is letters. So she calls the number, and then whatever the prompt is and whatever you assigned it to is what you stitch on. Now, their recommendation is to do 100 stitches on that particular pattern. Now, you have the option of doing that, and then if you're a monogamous stitcher, and you want to try to make one project work for as many as you can prompts, you can do that. If you want to work on something like a 2-day rotation, you can do that. 100 stitches, you can do that fairly quickly and then move on to whatever you want to stitch on. The way I do it, now normally I work something on a 2-day rotation. Lately I've been doing, well, if I'm not feeling it, 1 day, move on. But what I've done in the past with Bringo is I would work on that project for the day. You get the number the night before. Usually, because we're on the East Coast and Kathy's on the West Coast, she usually posts it by 6, which is about 9 for us. But I always try looking at it before I go to bed so that I know what I have to pull out before I get up in the morning. The words are starting to fade. Okay, so we'll be planning for that. I'll do a planning video of what I'm going to be starting, so that if you're interested in starting something with me, I'm going to try and give you the order that I might do it in. Like January, I'll do these new starts, February, these, March, but I'm not going to be held accountable for all of them. If like my birthday month, I might want to pick certain ones for that month and I don't want to deviate. Some of you might say, oh, it's my birthday month, this, you want to try this? If I can, I don't mind, but I'm going to try and stick to a plan. But plans are made to be broken. So we'll do the best that we can as far as when we're going to start them. But I will give you an approximate idea of what months. And if you want to join me, great. If you can't do it that month, but you were going to do it the following month, that's great too. And we can just talk about how far we got. I mean, naturally, I can show you my progress. You'd have to tell me your progress. Unless you're on Flosstube or unless you're on Instagram and you give me your Instagram and I will follow you there. So that being said, I think we covered everything. Yep. Now I got to put this all away and get ready for my 11 o'clock Zoom finishing. It's a little after 10. Okay. On that note, have a wonderful Thanksgiving if I don't come back before then. I hope you were able to enjoy it with friends and family or family or friends. We've been invited to Rebecca's parents' house, and we'll bring a couple of dishes over, some dessert, wine, and we'll have a party. So there's so much to be thankful for. We're above the ground, and I'm thankful every day for that. So take care. Love you guys. I'm so glad you stayed with me to the end. I hope to see you before the end of the month, but if I don't make that planning video before, I will definitely be back at the end. Take care. Love you. Mwah. Bye.